Hello, everybody. How are we all? All I can say is sorry I'm later on today, tonight. You guys, we had an earthquake, and I actually these little prank things. Hi, True Crime with Libby. Hi, ICU. Welcome. Hi, Kimmy Jean. Yeah, and I was looking at her like, what are you doing? And then she's looking at me, looking at her with that look on my face. Oh my God, it's an earthquake. And it went for ages. I've only ever been in one other earthquake, and it was 15 seconds. This one felt like it went for over a minute. Yeah, it was the most bizarre thing. So we're on, they're telling us to be on alert for more this afternoon. So I just say, oh my God, Libby, I'm so glad I saved you from that terrible. Hi, Cass. Yeah, we don't want to be going over there. It won't even be much, really necessary. Hi, Leon. Hi, Crime and Justice. Yeah, so that was like, I don't know. I was just and I just had to go and start the internet booster box because I'm in the studio. I've got a booster that's halfway between the house and the studio, and sometimes it's not good. Hopefully it'll come good in a minute. No sound. Guys, I'm sorry. I might have to go back down to the house. Is it any better? Let me know if it's still breaking up, and I'll go down to the house. Oh, it's better now? Yeah, I don't know why, but sometimes up here in the other building, it just doesn't seem to want to work as clearly. That's good. Otherwise, I'd have to pack everything up and go down there. But guess what? Come through this morning. I'm so excited, and I don't want to spam you all with frequent community posts, but the community posts come through. I discovered just after the earthquake, and now I can stream from my mobile. So that's exciting too. I'm just not sure how that goes. Maybe you know, Libby. So if I have the camera on, can I still read comments on the screen? Because I don't want to get on there and just be a buffoon. I know, I was so excited. Finally, the community tab. And I've worked out how to make little videos on my phone last night. And put them on as a little short thing. So that was exciting. Hi, Miss Justice. Okay, that's cool. I'll just have to get on there. I might do it when all you guys are asleep so you don't see me make a fool of myself. Yeah, it's exciting. But that's my little news for the morning. There's not much else happening with everything. I want to know why has everything gone so quiet with Summer's case? It just feels like nothing, even from Donald Wells' side. Sharon, do you think that I can do a petition for Summer's investigation? What sort of petition, Priscilla? I'm not sure what you're meaning. Thanks, Millie. And thanks, everyone, for all the things you guys send me while I'm asleep. It really does help, and I really do appreciate it because, as I was saying yesterday, and Libby would get this, it's not just coming on here and talking for ages. It is trying to be up to date with what's happening and who's doing what and everything else. So, yeah, feel free to send me things because it saves me background time, and I do appreciate it. And as a group, I think it's awesome that we can all do things as a group. I know I've caught, you don't know me, welcome. I caught Scott's last one on TCC, but I was going to the shop, so I have to go back home and write down all the stuff he said to dig into. And I've also got another list of names and things I'm doing with Anita. So it's very busy, isn't it? Leonie. Are you new, Leonie? I've got a memory like a sieve today. It's just the earthquake must have shook it around a bit. They will hate when the focus all goes back to Summer and all those involved. But we do need to make some noise. Yeah, I think so. We need it. I don't know. There's just, like, are they still even having the prayer vigils? And Candace hasn't even been going to them, I don't think, since their big prank fiasco. Morning, Kathy. Hi, Jeannie. Yes, I think we need to start yelling and screaming and definitely find Summer. But I think, going by all the in-depth research that's happening, I'm just turning this phone off so it doesn't annoy you guys. It looks like it goes a hell of a lot deeper than any of us think. And who's related to who is quite scary. I just seen Josie in the house. Oh, no problem, Priscilla. I got booted. I'm really sorry I didn't get to help you much, but yeah, it just kicked me out. So I was trying to type from the comments box, but I don't know if you could see that or not. You're from Tassie, Leonie. Awesome, another Aussie. I love having everyone, but sometimes I think it would be awesome to build up the Aussie side of it as well, just so when our little Americans are having a snooze, I've got someone to talk to, because there's so many nights where you just lie awake and you think, I wonder if anyone's awake to talk to me. I'm lost with all the ancestry and whatnot with Summer's case, Libby says. Don knows, damn it. And I can hear the conviction in that comment, Libby. And I think Cher knows it too. On the quiet, I think Miss Cher knows quite a bit. But what's it going to take to get it out of them? What is it going to come to? Like I thought initially when the boys were taken out of their care, I thought they're going to crack now, surely, you know. But maybe they're just used to having their kids taken away. Like they've both lost 2 kids each in the past. So it's not like it was a new devastating experience for them. They already knew how that felt. So to you and I, we would be completely and utterly devastated, but maybe it's just not that much to them. Who knows? But I don't know what it's got to come to before one of them crack. And it doesn't look like Grandma's coming home. I feel the case needs to be moved out of Hawkins County to Knoxville Sheriff's Department. Too much conflict of interest. And yeah, that's coming out too, especially with our little friend, Mr. Barrett, the commissioner or impersonator or whoever the hell he is. Yes, I've seen a lot of there's some bad boys around. I just am blown away by how many people are actually related to each other. Yeah, you don't know me. It's hard to know, like, how it fits into the puzzle, isn't it? You know, everything's so intertwining. You've got to sit back and say, well, okay, is that really relevant or not? And I think that's the part of it that I struggle with a bit. So Mandy's saying, oh yeah, Libby, I had a meltdown yesterday at the beginning of my life because I was really angry with Doug. And Doug, so Mandy C and Cher have had a big online battle, and they're not talking, they're not friends anymore in the playground. And I don't think Mandy C's talking to Skeezy either. I don't know, don't really care. And Doug had her on his show yesterday, and I'm a mod for Doug, and I said a couple of smart-assy type things that I probably shouldn't have, and then I decided to leave because I don't like it when people come in here all guns raising, and it's not my house. So I respected Doug and I left, but I just don't get it. I don't. As I was saying yesterday, it's like being in a playground and all the cliquey little groups, and the mean girls are in one corner and you've got the nerds in another corner, and they're all, Mandy C makes, it's her profession to run from group to group causing drama though. And I'm quite happy if Mandy C wants to come up here and discuss that, but her history is not good. And I'm a hypocrite because I just said she's quite happy to come up here, but I would tell her if she walked in the door now, I'd tell her exactly what I think. Oh, I love you too, Libby. Yeah, let's play nice. And that's what I like about our group. And we were saying yesterday how, you know, there's all that static in the background, and how is that helping keep awareness on Summer when all they're doing is trying to get dirt on each other? And yeah, I just wasn't up for that, Libby. So I just left and went on my merry little way, but I was stirred up. I was like, why would you do that, Doug? You know, and I wasn't the only one. There was quite a few people in there that weren't happy that he had her on there, but it's his thing and his channel and he can do whatever he likes, and it just means you can leave when you want, I guess. Several of those players did the same stuff on Watts. Yeah, I wasn't around for the whole Watts. I've sort of come into YouTube on the Oran and Northern West side of things. Hi, T. Riley. And I was so interested in doing my own channel, mainly because I've told you guys 100 times how nobody in my life is into. My youngest daughter sort of follows things, but not as obsessively as I do. So I had no one to share it with, and I thought once I stumbled into YouTube, this could be something I can do and share it with people who like to talk about it. And I think it's important, but I don't want it to be like craziness. Like my nerves couldn't handle it, guys. I get so upset. You know, the last week and a half with Gabby, and it's not that I've forgotten about Summer, so please don't come at me with that. But you could clearly see in that body cam footage that that girl was beyond distressed and upset, and to the point where she didn't physically look okay. And it upset you. Like, if that was my daughter, I would want them law enforcement guys to give me a call and say, look, we've just, you know, hi, Griff. And I know she's 22 and they don't have any legal obligation to do that. I don't know. It's just so sad. And it's with all the emotion and stuff you feel for the victims, I don't have energy to be having channel wars. And it's going to happen again, guys. My voice is going croaky. I need a drink. Maybe I need to get some whiskey or something, because it's about the same time. Every time I start a live, sorry. Yeah, the 911 call. So sad. Where he was hitting her. I'm just getting a cough lolly. Hi, Sandy. Did you have an earthquake, Sandy? It's about the most exciting thing that's happened to me in about 16 months, I think. Pretty sad that it's got to take a earthquake to rattle you alive again. True Crime Libby, we need to do a live together. You might not want me to come on because I'm having these coughing issues and I can hardly breathe. If I go really quiet, guys, I'm on the floor unconscious, okay? I've got tears pouring down my face. I know. I actually went and bought some tea, and we've always got honey. We've always got honey, and I've always got lemons. So maybe I need to make one before I come on to soothe it before I start. And guys, I've got to take my hat off, only because I know, as you can hear in my voice, just talking for 10 minutes. Oh, it's been only 20 minutes. It didn't seem like that long. But I don't know if you've all been watching the OFLA guy live stream during the Looking for Brian. That guy couldn't talk underwater, I swear to God. And he talks so bloody fast, like blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, we're going to be searching all day on a live. You need to slow it down a bit. Have you all seen him? I seriously was having an anxiety attack listening to him because we'll have to play some tomorrow. I'm going to get up extra early in the morning and go live so that guy's still on the channel, just so we can talk about him, because it's hilarious. The situation, don't get me wrong, the situation is not hilarious. I still don't think he's in the woods. I think he's in another state, and the photos that are going around. And guys, I just wanted to show you something. Remember I was talking about his artwork and how it's pretty dark, some of it? And I know art has all sorts of context, but some of it is insane. I'm just going to share. I seriously want to headbutt the wall right now. This is not how I plan things. Can you all see this? It's crazy. I don't get it. Like, it's creepy as. No, I just want to put him on for 5 minutes, Lip, that's all. He's just, I might just do a little clip of him then, and we might put that on. I know, I understand that too, Libby. I wish we could cover everybody. Where are we? Oh, this is not going to stop. And it's a catch-22 because once these little coffin things start, it's like you... Yeah, I even bought Coke up here with me. I don't know why it does that. Now the whole nose is running, the whole bit. Betty Boop, I was thinking that too, you know. If he, just say he really is in the woods. Someone was saying it's starting to get quite chilly of a night time. And if he only took a little backpack, it's not like he's got blankets and things to keep himself warm. Hi, Beagle Mama. Yeah, I don't think he's in there. I think he's long gone. Yeah, I just had a drink, Miss Justice. Thank you for thinking of me. I don't know, sometimes I think it might be like a nervous tickle, maybe. Because it is just like a tickle. It's not like a sick cough. It happened the other night when I come on nighttime, my time. Maybe it's my throat gets nervous and the rest of the body is trying to help it. I don't know. Hi, Denise. But yeah, you can even hear my nose. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I just thought them, especially that red artwork, some of it's just like he's quite artistic. And he's made a liar out of me because we won't show that. We don't want it. It's nieces and nephews on here. But it was these ones that sort of, yeah, that freaked me out a bit. A bit out there. Yeah, it might be nerves. Like when I'm really sick and I get bronchitis or something, I've gone to the hairdressers and I'll be sitting there and I cough and cough so bad. Like I've had to ring my daughter to come and pick me up because I was coughing that bad I couldn't even drive. And it's like when it happens in places where you're embarrassed, I think your nerves aggravate it and make it worse. Or I just get anxious and because I want it to stop so bad. But it's settled down now, like it's crazy. Oh, Griff, we love you. Oh, me too, Chantel. I had never seen that guy before in my life, John Walsh. So he has a regular show in America. Is that the case? But I listened to him for 5 minutes on Banfield and I had to live stream it because, not live, you know what I mean, play it to you guys because I was so impressed. His conviction and his passion and the way he spoke is exactly how I wish I could come on here and talk, but I don't have that ability. And I just thought he was amazing. So it's tomorrow, your time, he's going to be on a show, is what I gathered, because it's Wednesday over here now. He did, his son went missing and was found murdered. Oh, really? So is he is he a detective in law enforcement? He's a go-getter though, by the sound of him. Yeah, I'd never seen him before. But he sounds like he's the sort of character that he's like a dog with a bone and he won't give up and he's passionate about it. So his show is tomorrow at 10 p.m. See, we have cable over here, but it's not exactly the same shows and screenings and that sort of stuff as America. That's probably why I've never heard of him. Hi, Joey Lanta. He's not an actual qualified law enforcement guy. He's just determined. No, he heads a missing persons group, very famous. I'm going to look into him when I get off. He has had a few shows for decades. He's like Chris M, but better. How can you get better than Chris M? I love Chris M. Cheryl. Doug does the impressions, not me, guys. I'm not going to bore you with that. I should get my daughter to do an impression of him too, because she's amazing with impressions. Oh, guys, yesterday, I don't know who was here yesterday when the granddaughter had to go and babysit my daughter's golden retriever, but it's a funny little story. So they've rang Layla to go over and help dog sit because they had to go back to work in the afternoon because they thought she'd ate. Did I tell you this already? They thought she ate like 6 little clock batteries. So they took her to the vet and they did an x-ray and they said, no, there's no batteries in her tummy, but she's showing all the symptoms of a snake bite. And I swear to God, it was so cold yesterday, it was nearly snowing. Anyway, $400 later, they get to walk out with their dog and there was nothing wrong with her at all. But they tried to say that she'd been bitten by a snake. So, yeah, Layla goes and babysits the dog for 4 hours, and I think she was just attention seeking. But this dog, you have no idea. They've only had this golden retriever for a bit over 12 months, and she has been chaos, worse than a toddler. I watch Aussie sitcoms, Country Practice. That was my favourite back in the day. But when Molly died, oh my God, I cried for a week. How is it possible to not know who John Walsh is? His young son was murdered. He's been involved in missing persons. I don't know how it's possible, Debbie. I've just never, ever come across him before. It's bizarre to me that he's so famous. And yes, see, we don't get America's Most Wanted over here. He has a charity for missing children. Or maybe we could do a fundraiser for him, for his foundation. Really, Chantel? Well, there you go, guys. There's another Aussie who knows all about John. No, it's like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen McLeod's Daughters. It's another huge Aussie farm type show. Reminds me a little bit of Heartland. And when Claire died, oh my God, I nearly had a mini breakdown. I was yesterday years old when I Googled who John Walsh is, but I remember him from TV as a kid. Well, there you go. I definitely have a lot of catching up to do with John Walsh. You have 3 Neapolitan Mastiffs. Holy moly. Yeah, McLeod's Daughters is the best. I love that show. I swear every school holidays we watch at least 3 series again. Yeah, I'm going to look into it now and learn some more about John and what happened with his son and things in the 80s. Wow. And isn't it a contrast, guys, that the way Mr. Petito and both sets of parents have portrayed themselves compared to Don and Candace? I sent you a link. Oh, okay. Thanks, Millie. Oh, cool. Is it Investigation Discovery? But our shows don't gel exactly the same as yours. Like, I've even tried to do it to watch them behind the VPN thing. And I don't know. It still won't let me in there. Okay, Zona, Libby's always mean to you. I couldn't imagine Libby being mean. Hi, Bella. She is mean to you. Oh, my goodness. John's wife was shopping and Adam went to look at toys and was kidnapped. Oh, my God. That's every parent's worst nightmare. We love your singing too, Libby. We're glad Did you feel very special the other day, Libby, when you're getting on the plane and we were all like, we can't wait till you're home. Have a great flight. That's what I love about this platform. You know, you can talk to each other no matter where you are. Yeah, we could do that. That would be awesome. Millie, you're a little star. You need to put a little star next to your name. I have a dog who is half, wow, coyote, and she looks like a little wolf. Oh, her name is Willow and she is awesome. Oh my God. Hi, Bulks Boy 57. You're new because I haven't seen your name before. Hey, Scott, how are you? Scott knows about my earthquake. I can't, like, I didn't, when it happened, I sort of thought, oh, when I realised what was happening and what it was, I said, oh, that'd probably only be like a 3 or a 4, but it was a 6. So, and I've seen some footage of damage done in Melbourne, Victoria, and it was pretty intense down there. We don't have many big buildings out here in the bush, so, or high rises. So damage is pretty minimal around here. But guess what? There's always a positive to every negative. And for a drywaller, earthquakes are good because everyone gets cracks and damage and they need drywallers. So that's a positive out of it all. It's crazy. First I thought I just had vertigo or I was about to pass out or something because the earth was moving, literally. Hi, Carolyn. It sure was intense in Melbourne. You guys okay? Because, yeah, I seen some footage and it scared the crap out of me. Oh, here's little Ashley Marie, you cheeky little one. Where have you been? I bet she's been outside smoking. We've missed you, Ashley. As Libby would say, you're late for class. Where's your late note? Is John Q here? Oh my God, I get flutters every time. Same with Scott, Stella. You guys are awesome. You know, I don't know with you other creators, Libby, Scott, John, do you guys have like little paranoid moments where you think, I'm really shit at this and I don't know whether I should keep doing it because people must just think I'm a nutcase and I rave on with, you know, it's like I'm having a schizophrenic argument in my own head sometimes. But yeah, sometimes you just, I don't know, you just really doubt yourself and think you get too emotional because some people say, actually, I heard Natasha say the other day, I get what she was saying. She said that creators could not get too close to the suspects or the victims. And I totally get where she's going because of Skeezy and what he's done with Monica Sherrard and all, you know, with Don Wells, with the shares and all the rest of it. But you really have to have a bit of a connection for the victims to be able to be passionate about it. That's just the way I work anyway. I don't think you can cover it and try and do your best and get the name out there if you don't have a connection. Oh, thanks, Miss Justice. I do. I sit there afterwards and just think, oh my God, you know. And especially being an Aussie, you know, I know a lot of Americans just think that we sound like rednecks, you know. And some people are really put off by, okay, I've come to the realization that I do speak differently, but I'm not ashamed of my accent. It sort of makes me feel like me. I'm too emotional to do YouTube and true crime. Well, I get emotional, but not online. Like sometimes I go to bed and you just sob, you know, it's just because you do as a parent, you can't differentiate the emotion of thinking, if that was my child, where would I be, you know? It's just, thank you so much for supporting me, John. Hi, Shayna. It's really, really hard. And I get how some creators can get really upset while they're doing their lives and things, but I try and keep it separate and I do that stuff by myself. And like, look at Doug. Doug can cry like no one I've ever seen in my life. That guy can break down so quick. And I feel for him, but I'm just not an easy crier. Maybe I've just got tougher in my older age, I don't know. Where are you from, Shayna? I'm nosy, aren't I? I've got to know all these things. You know, Bella, when I first left school, I was a nurse, or trainee nurse, obviously. And during my training, one of the matrons called me aside and said, "You're never going to make it as a nurse." Because I was working in an aged care ward. And I was like horrified. And I said, "Why? What did I do wrong?" And she said, "You get too emotionally attached." And I just looked at her and I've never, ever forgotten it. And I did become a nurse and I thought I was pretty bloody good at it too. But how can you look after people, especially the elderly, when normally they're in hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks and not having an emotional attachment? You know, like that means you're not allowed to care. And that's the way I interpreted what she said. And I thought, well, guess what, girl? You don't make a good matron either. But yeah, some people can beat you down before you even start climbing the stairs, don't they? She didn't sort of explain herself well, but she was the old school, harsh. Aussies aren't supposed to talk funny. I'm a Southerner and we talk funny too. I know. I love listening. So you guys in America can be on one side of America and you talk one way, and then you get someone from the South and they talk another way, and then like all different parts of the one country all have different accents. I'm learning. And it blows my mind. Like you listen to the Queen, Everyday Shenanigans, love her. I didn't used to love her, if that's even the way you should say it. during the Orrin and Orson West case, she used to get under my skin because she'd always be bashing the biological mother, and I didn't agree with that. So we used to butt heads a bit, but I was respectful to her for her opinion. But I sort of moved on and let go of that issue, which you do as an adult. But yeah, you listen to the way she speaks and then listen to my mum Chasing Truth when she's doing her little Boston lingo, and her sister. Has anyone ever seen Chasing Truth's sister on her channel? Oh my God, she is hilarious. And she talks even more accenty than Chasing Truth does. That girl needs her own channel, Chasing Truth's sister. I could sit and listen to her all day. But yeah, it just amazes me how everyone in the States, in different parts of the country, have different accents. Oh, don't even go there, Miss Justice. I can never work that out. Like, I'm not big into history. I didn't pay much attention. But why do some Canadians speak French? Like, I'm learning so many things. I think it's because you can burn out if you become too emotionally involved. As long as you know to put your mental health first, you can be emotional. Yeah. I was super emotional when I was younger, but I think I've toughened up a bit. I have a Southern accent, a Southern California accent. Only people in other parts of the country notice it. Well, there you go. And Hillbilly Heart, who we've had on, Liz, she's from the South and she has that same as Priscilla. They both all have the same accent. And their little sayings, it just cracks me up. All these quick-witted little phrases they say. Some even speak Russian, don't they, in Canada? I have no idea, Ashley. But I've never understood how come there's French speaking, because they're not French people, are they, that are just moved to Canada? They're like full-on born in Canada but only speak French. That's bizarre. I have to get onto Google and try and work out some of these things. Quips. We call them quips. Is that the Canadian French people? This is crazy. I thought all California was like Los Angeles and was shocked to hear people talk from the northern part. Really, Millie? Wow, you have to be bilingual. I wonder if AB talks in a different language as well. We should hit him up and ask him. And I've been trying to catch up with, I've watched a bit of his one from this morning, our time. But did someone strike him or something on one of his channels? Because I've been missing a bit of stuff that's going on. I didn't watch some of these photos, like, it's just crazy. Like, bit bizarre. Miss Justice, I love Canada. I've never been, but I've had some of the food from there. I can't wait. Canada was on my number one for my bucket list in travel. I've been to New Zealand. I've been to Indonesia, to Bali and all around there. I wouldn't rush back in a hurry to Indonesia. Wasn't my thing. Like the $2 massages and pedicures, and there are just smells in Indonesia that no human should ever smell, guys. And I'm not being a Debbie Downer. It was, like, I get that it's a third world country and everything, but there are parts of it that are great. You don't know me, but there were parts that I wish I'd never smelt, and things I wish I'd never seen. But I suppose that's part of traveling, isn't it? You want to see the world, you see the good and the bad. But it's not like I would rather come to America. Now I have all you friends to put me up, then go back to Indonesia. And once you get off the plane in Indonesia, like, it's really hot here in summer, like insanely hot. But Indonesia has a completely different heat about it. And it's like a wet, humid heat. Probably a lot like Queensland here. But we don't get the same heat as Queensland either. And it nearly made me throw up as soon as I got off the plane. It was just too much for me. And I was there for 10 days or something. I couldn't wait to get out of there. Hi, Cabin Life at Eden Springs. Where's your late note? We haven't seen you for a little while either. Welcome back. You could spend a full year in the States and barely skim it. Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? Like, I was watching the live feed from that WFLA crazy guy that talks super fast. And he said from where Gabby's body was found back to where Brian lives is a 42-hour drive. And you would be halfway around Australia if you travelled that far. And I couldn't. So if that far on the map was 42-hour drive, yeah, you'd have to be driving for months to get all the way around America to every state, wouldn't you? Or longer. Well, Miss Justice, you've been everywhere. Egypt, Israel, Jordan, India, and Nepal. I want to go to the Greek islands. I think that'd be so beautiful. Hi, Gabby B. Look at your puppy dog. I thought it was all city, then heard people from a few towns and they sounded a bit country. Maybe the people being interviewed. Yeah, maybe. Oh, thanks, Shana. I was so excited to get to the 1,000, but I couldn't have done it without all you guys helping me either. So thank you so much. He drove straight. I think he was on speed possibly, or just on crazy. Absolutely on crazy. I've been to Puerto Rico, Egypt. Wow, you guys. You're well-travelled. France. I really want to go to France. Amsterdam, Rome. Yeah, I want to go there too. Good on yous, guys. I'm glad that yous have all seen the world. I heard it. I was going to ask yous about that because I haven't... somebody sent me pictures or footage or something of, was there 15 gun bullet evidence tags with Gabby's? case. I honestly didn't feel that he'd used a weapon. That just 15. I'm sure that's what I read, that there were 15 bullet holes, so it had penetrated different parts of the terrain where shots had been fired. You're too scared to fly, Ashley. I was too, but you know, I think you have to get to a point where we move past our fears if we want to do things and see things. Well, actually, I didn't fly to New Zealand. We did a cruise, and I got to see the North and South Island, and it was the best way to do it because, you know, so many places to see. New Zealand is absolutely gorgeous, guys. If you ever get an opportunity to go there. I think he killed the Moab woman. You're not the only one, Cabin Life. There's a lot of people that think he's involved in that too. And I know law enforcement have said there's no connection, but usually people, you know that old saying, if it's too much of a coincidence, it's usually not. But I think law enforcement have ruled out that he's involved in that. So I shared on my brand new community page that it's officially now a homicide. So surely he is now the main suspect, and surely now when they get hold of his sorry little ass, he doesn't get taken home to mummy and daddy, and they're not just looking for him as a missing person. Hopefully now the status has changed to wanted in connection with the murder of Gabby Petito. Hi, Twiggy. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, another Aussie, guys. I'm doing a happy dance. Thanks so much. And if you could hit the like and subscribe, it helps get us in the YouTube feed of things. I finally learnt that, why we have to like, and I understand why we have to subscribe, but I really do appreciate it. Did you have an earthquake, Twiggy? Guys, you're not going to stop hearing about this earthquake for a little bit because it's quite shocking for me. Remember the thumbs up. Thank you, Miss Justice. Yeah, so now when and if they do find him, it's as a wanted man, hopefully, and not just, you know, that aggravated me when they were saying, oh, we're only looking for him because he's missing. And when they found him, they were taking him home to his mum and his dad. And I thought, what the actual F? Like, hell no. Is it missing the whole point here? Did anyone else feel that that was just not okay? You didn't feel a thing in Southern? Oh, no, well, you're just... Oh, I don't mean to sound to sound horrible, and I don't mean it like that. Twiggy, sorry, but yeah, that's probably the only reason why you didn't feel it, though. It was pretty bad in Melbourne, though, so it's a wonder you guys in Tasmania didn't feel it. I've quickly seen some footage before I come on of buildings and stuff in Melbourne, and it was really scary. GMA Butterfly, how are you? Gabby B says she heard about the earthquake shortly after it happened. No one injured, but quite a lot of damage to some buildings. Yeah, there sure is. That's okay, we're on the little island. Yes, you are on a little island. And Twiggy, we were just talking about New Zealand just a little while ago, and I was saying how beautiful it is there. And I've heard from people that I know that have been to Tasmania, and they said it's just as beautiful in Tasmania. So it's on my list as well. It's insane that, you know, you live in Australia, but you haven't been to every state in the country. But you talk about going overseas. I'm completely lost on the Gabby case. All I know is she was found. I'm the kind of person that can't take on too much, so I just stick to summer until an update happens. Yeah, I get that, Ashley. But I can't help myself. I just get, I don't know, I get angry. And I just, yeah, I can't let go of it. Only because he lawyered up. But when they do find him, things will change because of FBI in charge now. Yeah, absolutely. And I hope they don't muck about with him. This could be nothing, but I just heard through the Sarasota. Oh, I had it going, Millie. That was another dilemma I had just before I come on. I had the scanner on because I seen on Facebook that someone said that they said over the scanner, they said Brian Laundrie's name. So I put the scanner on the computer, which I've never done before. I've only listened to it through my phone. Well, it was like I closed the web page and the scanner was still working, and I could not for the life of me work out how to turn the scanner off because there was not even a web page there. So I had to reboot the whole computer, and yeah. So what are they saying on the scanner now, Millie? Oh, really? This could be nothing, but I just heard through the Florida scanner to stop transmitting and contact. Or maybe there might be some truth to it. But that's over an hour ago I had it on, so send the if you plug that into the text, it makes perfect sense. She was crying out for help and scared to death. Yeah. You could just tell there was more going on in that body cam footage than her having an OCD attack. Like, and guys, if you haven't been over and seen Hillbilly Hearts, she's done 3 parts where she talks about that she talks through the whole body cam footage, and it's excellent. Like, I was getting really frustrated because I knew there were things that were red flags to me, but I couldn't articulate what my brain was thinking about him and how upset Gabby was and all that sort of stuff. And then when I listened to Liz from Hillbilly Heart, it sort of put everything in context, and I knew exactly why I was feeling this and that. And yeah, she's really, really good. So, and it's really interesting how she describes the situation. The scanner's gone silent, so usually that means they've gone to mobile phones for communication. Yeah, I don't want to put it on just because, as I said, it was like it invaded the whole laptop. I couldn't get rid of it. Yeah, and then the 911 call that he was actually slapping her. So I did see last night they were saying that the dispatch didn't relay that part of the conversation from the 911 call to the officers that went and pulled him over. So maybe if the dispatch, I'm not putting fingers out there to blame anybody. It is what it is, and we can't change it. But yeah, apparently they didn't tell the officers that he was sighted hitting her. And maybe if that had happened, it might have been a different outcome. I told you guys, I think I'm dyslexic. The text that she sent her mum that said, "Can you help me please, Stan?" And her mum said that grandpa name is Stan, but she never called him that. You'd think Stan was an acronym. Could be GM Butterfly. Yeah, I'll never forget the fact that they let her, that distressed and upset, to go out into the woods by herself. And it's not a sexist thing or females can't cope. That's not the only reason I think that. It's just the fact that you could tell she wasn't okay, you know, and obviously she's not going to have family or anyone around that area to support her, that she could go and, you know, he said, "I'll go and have a shower." Really, dude? And Brian was they were too chatty and buddy-like with the law enforcement guys with Brian. I didn't like that either. No, she just wanted everything to be calm because she was probably used to it by the sound of it. And they'd been together a long time, since high school. So, yeah. Send the authorities now, 10-9. You think he planned it, Josie? I don't know. When you seen the acronym explained, it just made so much sense. Yeah. Very, very sad. I've heard 911 calls where victims have pretended they were ringing to order pizza and they were actually on the phone to 911, and that was really, really creative. I thought that girl deserved a medal, the way she was directing 911 to her location and everything, while the perpetrator thought she was ordering pizza. And it just blew my mind. Like, I would never think that quick. Why would he fly back out? Oh, this is the whole bit that rattles my brain. Why would he fly back out to Wyoming if not to kill her and take her van? He already moved her things out of his parents' home. I don't know. I don't get the whole flying back. Because someone said yesterday that they think he flew from wherever they were at, obviously not far from what happened with Gabby, that he flew home. And then his parents said, "You get back there and get the van." So I'm uncertain. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know, because Yeah, I'm confused with that. Whether they drove him back there to get the van, I don't know. I think is one of the reasons this case took off. DV survivors saw it from the jump, while some people were gaslighting us. I know, and that's the thing about us survivors is we do have a different outlook than the average Joe. And you can sense it. Like when it's something like this, we do see things a lot differently and we feel things a lot differently. But the minute for me was straight up as soon as law enforcement went to his parents' house to speak to him, and the parents handed over the attorney details, and I thought, yeah, he's guilty. And I'm sure the rest of the world did too, because that's just screaming guilty. If you've got nothing to hide, why can't you just... And I still haven't had my question answered as to whether law enforcement cited and spoke to him after the 11th of September. Or did they just communicate with his parents? Surely they would have had to have seen him in person. Did everything they could with the circumstances that they knew at the time. She had time and space but wasn't ready to leave him or even tell her parents. No, it seems like the only one that's really aware of how volatile it was becoming was that friend that's been interviewed a couple of times that she met on Bumble. I'd never even heard of Bumble before. But she seems like a sweet girl too. And it seemed to me that Gabby was a real support to her friend too. You know, she seemed like she gets down quite a bit, and Gabby was always trying to cheer her up and make her laugh, and just a gorgeous girl. It is heartbreaking, Josie. It's just... So what's your theories on why Mr. Wells has gone so quiet, guys? Is it because no one's putting him on lives? There just feels like there's a bit of a calm before a shitstorm coming. I'm thinking Bumble was how the YouTube star met her friends in Texas, the one her husband killed her. Oh, really? Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I can't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about. I didn't realise it was Bumble, though. We have a visitor. I won't be a second, guys. I'm back. The daughter-in-law wanted to know if I wanted my hair done today, but I don't feel like it today. It's good having a daughter-in-law and a daughter who are both hairdressers. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I just feel that there's something brewing. Josie, I was just saying how Don has been quiet lately. Oh, here's Zoots in Boots. How are you going, Zoots in Boots? I know, how disgusting was that? I can't believe, if they're so all for summer, them two channels that let that happen, how is it about summer? Like, that is disgusting, degrading. It's, not parents. And I'm pretty open-minded, but I really, really hope that they never get them boys back. I know I was just saying that earlier, 10-9. What a, exactly what you just have in there in that comment. The Donald and Candace compared to the Potatoes and the Smiths, like, it is like two different universes. No, the whole thing, I'll never get them images out of my mind of Donald, and I honestly think Candace has bashed the shit out of him before that because of the big lump. And I was having another look at that photo on my phone last night and made it bigger. And it, how when Benny first clicked him into the live and he had the sunglasses and that on, and I was like, why would you have sunglasses on in the middle of the night inside the house? And then when I took screenshots later, I could see why. I honestly think she's whacked him a few times. I think DNC are ashamed to be on calls now after the toilet and drugged stupid. Twiggy, I don't think they feel or know what embarrassment or shame is, because the next morning he was straight on another live with Cher on the phone. And I was like, dude, are you serious? There's no way. Well, cabin life, that's what we need. If I was in America right now, we could do a protest, but we need to get some action happening with law enforcement and make some noise like they did out the front of Laundrie's house and get some media attention, like proper national media attention on these two. And like literally make some noise. Because with all of us sitting behind our screens and we hope we're making a difference and helping in some way, shape or form, when you see the physical people out the front of Laundrie's house, I just thought we should be doing this for summer. Like, we should get thousands of people, maybe not thousands, but a huge amount of people, and go down Beach Creek Road and start making a lot of noise and demands. It did look that way. Candace had, but maybe if her wrist was, oh, now I've lost it. I know they're addicts. And I don't think it's just, it looked like heavier stuff than just alcohol and pot to me. But even the shares have been quiet the last couple of days. Not much happening with her and Donald. And you can't help but think suspiciously about what's going on, because they've made it into what it is on YouTube, haven't they? Oh my God. The way Candace looked and the way her arm flopped down, I thought she's dead. And I wasn't the only one, I don't think, because a lot of people rang Hawkins County, and they did wellness check and said she was fine. But yeah, that was, imagine if those kids were like getting themselves into that state. We don't know whether they were that bad when the kids were there or not, but could you imagine those little guys witnessing both parents that wiped out? It's just makes me feel nauseous. No, I don't know much about street drugs at all, cabin life, but yeah, marijuana just makes you relaxed and chill, and but they were on a different level chill, or Candace was for sure. Maybe they all got served those legal papers. Yeah, that gave me the shits the other day when Cher was going to have the big Wells horror family story, and then they got the cease and desist that we're not going to take any notice of that. But in the end, they did, because they didn't discuss anything about the sisters, did they? No. So it did rattle them, whether they want to admit it or not. I keep hearing about meth, but that looked more like opiates. And they said the kids drank and smoked weed. Oh my God. Already, so who knows what else they got into. Well, they wouldn't know. Donald and Candace wouldn't know what the kids were doing if they get themselves like that in that situation often. Like when my kids were little, I wouldn't drink alcohol. Not that I was a big drinker as a young parent, but if I was going to drink alcohol, they would have a sleepover at Nanny and Poppy's. You know what I mean? It's not something I want to do around my kids, and still don't. And they're bigger drinkers than I am these days. Benny just roaming around looking for a fight to fill in his time. I love that. Absolutely he is. He's not looking well though, poor Skeezy. He needs a shave and a sleep and get off his shit and pull his head in. A full personality change would be even better. I bet Don doesn't stray far from his little hill, because if he is caught by most men in that area, he would never be seen again outside of a body bag. Well, here we go. With everything this nutter is doing, okay, on that hill, and then you look at Jamie Wilson, who had a bad experience from some comment. I don't even know what the comment was, that Chris McDonough must have mentioned Jamie's name and put Jamie in danger or something, and people went to his house and were making threats and things like that. I'm really surprised that someone hasn't like gone up there and caused them harm. 21 to drink. Is it 21 in America to drink? My daughter wanted a glass of wine on her 21st birthday. I bought her a bottle, and she and her college mates had a glass. All are 21. They are in grad school. Yeah, it's 18 in Australia to be able to drink alcohol. My youngest daughter doesn't drink, but my son's 32 and he has a few, because he's a tradie. He's a drywaller as well. They have Friday drinks and like, yeah. So he drinks, but the eldest daughter, I don't know what she does these days. 18. My friends and I were good monsters. But you do. I think everyone goes through that party stage. I am just glad I was smart enough to move away from home across the state when I graduated high school and escape that crap. Yeah, some people never escape, do they? And what's their normal becomes the rest of their life because they just get caught up in that world. I've seen it here in our local town. You know, good people that you've been to school with start hanging around with the wrong crowd, and before you know it, their life is just so back to front and upside down, and they never get out of it. They've stayed like that in their adult life. Yeah, they've had a few threats, haven't they? But yeah, I'm surprised they haven't had people up there, especially when he was trying to throw the mafia under the bus, or Candace was on that hoax call. It's a wonder the mafia didn't go up there and give him a bit of a shake just for bringing their name into it. And it just makes you sit back and think, and you guys are trying to plead for your children back? You obviously didn't think this little scenario through. But let's put some hearts and prayer hands in the chat for Jeannie and Mary and Trish and Summer and Gabby. No one wants harmed people, but it's not as if it doesn't happen. Just play with the case seriously. It's frustrations about truth, not even close to Don Candace's lips. They know where Summer is. I know they know where Summer is. That's why they've never bothered looking. It's... Please hit the like button. Thanks, Emerald Flower. Yeah, it feels like a bit of a shift. We'll see if I'm right. It's just too quiet in the on Ben Hill Road at the moment. And the shares are too quiet. I wonder why the FBI never tried to make them talk. Well, I think it's got a lot to do with so Brian Laundrie's following list has gone down. He now follows 43. It was 45 before. Yeah, have you guys noticed that? Over the last 3 days, his Instagram, so the people he follows on his account, he's unfollowing. My granddaughter picked this up, and they were like every day there's more and more that he is unfollowing. So if he's been in the woods since last Tuesday, that's a week tomorrow your time, or in the morning, whatever. If he's in the woods, how does he still have access to Instagram to be unfollowing people? Just saying. Yes, I did see that Cabin Life. It was like 3 seconds and it was over water. Yes, I did see that. Can't his follow number decrease if people blocked him that he was following? Oh, I don't know, GMA Butterfly. So if, oh, okay. So if followers, people he is following, block him. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense too. Sorry. Did you see where he, yeah, I did see that. Could be people soft blocking him to make his account unfollow theirs, since people like to go real life and stuff. Yeah, it makes sense now, doesn't it? Yeah, ask my granddaughter. She's good on her little, she's been really in following this story with Gabby as well. And like, it could be a controversial thing because she is only 12, but she's a mature little 12-year-old. And I think it's good to educate our daughters and granddaughters on real life. And this is why I've always said to them, you know, you never let anybody treat you like this. And, you know, I don't see it as a negative. It was like, as a young mum, and my husband's grandmother passed away, and I decided I would let my 6 and 4-year-old kids come to the funeral, and everyone was like, no, you don't take children to a funeral. Like, what are you thinking? Are you stupid? And I said, I know it's not normally how it's done, but I want my children to understand old age and death, and it is a fact of life, and I want them to understand what happens at a funeral so that they understand if they have to go to another funeral as they get older. I think that's the way it should be. But yeah, that a lot of people weren't happy that I let them come. But you've got to teach your kids everything, not just, you know, I don't know. That's just the way I looked at it. And I did take them. And because in my eyes, it was a really, like, she was 90 something, you know. So it wasn't a super emotional, we were all sad, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like a sudden young person's death or an accident or something like that where it would be emotionally charged and stressful. And, you know, it was like a natural elderly person passing away. So I wanted the kids to understand that when you get really old and you pass away, and this is what happens. But I copped a lot of flack for that. But when we did have to go to a funeral a few years later, and it wasn't the same sort of situation. You never heard of that, Sharon. I remember being little and going to funerals. My dad died when I was 11. Not only I took the call from the hospital, I had to plan his funeral for Mum. Oh my God, Millie. No, well, yeah, when my grandmother died and I grew up most of my childhood with her, I wasn't allowed to go to her funeral because I was 11. And yeah, there was no way on earth they would have changed their mind, because you're a kid and kids don't belong at funerals. And I thought, I'm not going to parent that way when I do have children, because you've got to teach them every aspect of life, don't you? I had the same with my daughter and her cousins. They came to my mum's funeral and danced when they played Mum's favourite song. Mum would have loved it. Yeah. Yeah, and like I've noticed here in Australia, there's not a lot of church hosted funerals the last few years. A lot of them are held in the like graveside services, and they're really lovely too. It just depends on what that person wants, I guess. But I've seen lots of kids at graveside services. My grandfather was a minister. I got taken to lots of different events. Start life and life all in the right tact and time. Good education. Yeah, I agree, Zoots and Boots. All my grandkids and great-grands went to husband's funeral. 4-year-old was told grandpa's sleeping, and now when she comes here, she knows he's not here. Yeah, well, you gotta, I don't know. I don't even like lying to the younger ones about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and stuff. When the 12-year-old granddaughter asked me if Santa was real, she was 8 or 9. I said, no, he's not real, because I couldn't stand, like, she's old enough to remember that I'm lying to her. Once they get to that age, I believe, you know, I can't hold it back anymore. If they're that onto it, that they're asking outright, I will confirm that he's not real. And the Easter Bunny's not real. I still do not get the Easter Bunny thing, though. Why on earth do rabbits bring eggs? Like, really? Who thought this one up? I don't know what the eggs resemble in the religious sides of things, but rabbits bringing eggs is dyslexic to me. I've never got that. God, it's crazy. Am I boring you guys to death? Yep, good exposure, not the gruesome stuff. No, just hard for lots of people to accept kids in formal settings. The kids only learn through this exposure. No viewings, though. No, we don't have viewings. I think they have. You can request viewings at the funeral home, and they'll be private viewings, but we don't do open caskets in Australia, or I've never ever been to a funeral where there's an open casket. But I think you guys in America do quite a bit, don't you? Yeah, it's an individual thing with kids and that sort of stuff. Yeah, the same with Santa May. Oh, it's funny. Hubby and I have this bad habit of, we like to frighten the crap out of the kids, like we did it to our kids. Oh God, this is just not going to be good, is it? You're all going to be like, what? Like, scare them, but in a funny way. And when my eldest was, she was about 11, so that my son was, he was about 8, 9. We had one of them cute, you know, the trolls that, like, they're still quite big now, the little fuzzy haired things, have the real wild coloured hair, and it's all frizzy and stands up, and the funny looking faces. We had this mask, and I have no idea where it comes from, but it was as big as, I don't know, say it was 2 yards wide. Okay, it was massive, and we'd been trying to teach the kids about different things and what to do when and everything. And hubby one afternoon decided it'd be a good idea to go and put that mask on with a Dry-as-a-Bone, you know, them mountain waterproof long brown jackets. So it went from his neck all the way down to, and he had big boots on, big black boots on, and he goes and knocks on the front door. And I was mopping the kitchen floor, and I said, oh, can you go and answer the door for me? I knew who was at the door and what he was doing. And she goes and answers the door, and we had a screen door. So she opens the hard wooden door and starts screaming because he's this human troll standing at the front door. But then she opened the screen door to let him in. Oh, guys, it was so funny at the time. And two of the little grandkids are petrified of Santa. So we're having hubby went and dressed up as Santa and come through the roller door, and we got it all on camera, of course, how we scared the crap out of the kids. It is funny though. And you know how we've had our two granddaughters for 7 years? We took them on vacation to the coast, and we had lunch at KFC or somewhere, and they both wanted to go to the toilet because we make them go together. So while they were in the toilet, we flew outside because we'd all had finished eating, and hubby and I hid like round in the bushes. These are all going to think I'm insane. And I had the video camera ready, and I thought they'd come out like distraught and distressed. And I don't know why I thought that was going to be funny, but I've traumatized the kids. And yeah, so we're hiding in the bushes, videoing them as they come out. And tomorrow I will show you guys what they look like when they come running out of the shop, because they weren't distressed or upset. No, they were pissing themselves laughing because they knew we were pranking them. It never even dawned on them that we had abandoned them. Like, didn't even come into their thought process. They just knew we were pranking them. And I thought that was a bit special, that they've come running out with these huge, big, laughing smiles instead of being upset. Not that we wanted them to be upset, but, you know, it was just a prank. I love to watch Chris. Oh, me too, Cabin Life. Seinfeld. I've watched a few Seinfelds. I never, ever really got into it. I love Friends. Something sort of funny about how weird we are. You guys are like, I bet you've all unsubscribed and like, this woman is too weird for us. I mean, death is not funny, but Google Puerto Rico standing funeral. Oh, guys. The sick little girl and the last holly leaf falls. Oh, I know. Yes, Catholics want you to view I Kissed My Mum and Dad, very traumatic. Oh, wow. See, I couldn't imagine doing that. Culture amazes me how different it is from country to country. Oh, sorry. I will. I just wanted to put pics up of that just in case he is hiding around in a city somewhere and somebody comes across his face. Miley, the ones with full acronym figures in depth. Yeah, we might change that too. Get rid of that. Sorry, guys. It sure is. I think I would like to live in English in the... Oh, isn't England gorgeous with their... Everything's so lush and green there. I'm a bit far from... I'm in the south, but I find it scary. It's beautiful, but those traits are so dangerous. Yeah. Why did I just Google that standing funeral right before bedtime? Oh, God, GMA butterfly. Yeah, so what do you all think? I think they will locate Brian in the next 3 days. I don't know why, I just have a feeling. And I don't think he has hurt himself in any way. I don't feel like he is brave enough to go through with something like that. And how about, here's something else I didn't write down I was going to talk to you guys about. How about Don Wells ringing Don B? That sort of threw me a bit. And like, how would he get Don B's phone number? And you know what? It made me, I've always liked Don B, but I respect him even more now, because he could have been like the other few channels and put it straight up on YouTube like they all do, just to get the views and everything, but he didn't, and he's not going to. And I say we all need to give Don B a clap, because he didn't give Donald that outlet and that voice. It's like Don tries to send a fishing rod to a YouTube channel that gets lots of views to sidetrack what they're doing, so that they'll just concentrate on him and put his calls on their channel and all the rest of it. But good on you, Don B. I'm very proud of you for not using that phone call for clicks and views and all the rest of it. You're a good man. Robin called him too. Oh, I missed that one. Robin's related to some people too, just saying. Well, if you go and have a look at, I don't know, it was about 3 or 4 days ago, Cabin Life, when Don B said he'd had a call from Don Wells and he would get back to his subscribers with what was going on. And then I noticed just before I went to sleep last night that he'd done a video about it. So he's rang TBI, Don B has, and they wanted to know what was discussed in the phone call. Don B told them. He told them that his subscribers want him to put the phone call on YouTube, and they said, no, do not do that, to email it to them. And he said he's not going to do that either. He is putting it on a thumb drive and he is physically taking it to TBI himself. So I'm glad that, like, it's all a game for Donald Wells to try and get himself on another YouTube channel. And stupid Skeezy and Cher are all for that, but it just goes to show you that Don B has principles and he's not doing what he's doing for the wrong reasons. So I was impressed with that. That made me think, like, I've always liked the guy, but I like him even more now for not using that for his own benefit. But honestly, even if Don Wells says something, I wouldn't believe crap from none of them. They have proven themselves all to be liars. Exactly, GM Butterfly. Yeah, but one by one, that circle over there, so it started with Mrs. Cher and Mr. Cher, then Skeezy got involved, then Cam and Ali, although I'm glad they decided to not stay as closely knit with the shares as they were at the beginning. And then Mandy C, but they've broken up. It's, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I forgot about J for Justice. She's in thick with shares, so she gets to talk to Don. And hats off to the creators that don't want a bar of talking to Don, because they're the ones that you can see are in it for the right reasons. I heard something like he works with Robin's husband or someone they know. Really? Yeah, but Donald's loving it. All the attention. You lie with dogs, you get fleas. Exactly right, Josie. But I was going back, you know them photos I screenshotted from Chris McDonough's, where are they? I had them here. Them pots that they apparently planted the flowers in. I was going through them again today because it's, my head just can't get past that as well, because them little whatever they were in them pots, they've been dead for a long time, guys. Nothing has been put in them pots. I think it's on my thumbnail as well. I put the big pot on the thumbnail for this video. And have another look, and I'll put it on the community tab. Have another look at these pots and let me know in the comments what you think, because no way they planted them flowers 4 weeks before Chris McDonough's interview. They've been dead for a hell of a long time. And the other greenery that's in them pots has taken quite a while to grow as well. So that was their main narrative in that story, was planting the flowers, wasn't it? And putting her mother's brace on and getting the piece of candy. It just didn't happen. And if you look at them pots, that's proof right there that it didn't happen. But I'm serious, can you do that as a little favor to me? Because I just need someone to have a look and give me their perspective on them pots. Like, I do gardening and stuff, but I'm not an expert. I don't try to pretend I'm an expert, but it's just annoying the shit out of me. Yeah, there's no, I know none of us have bought the story from the beginning, but yeah, every time I think of them pots now, I just aggravates me. It was a month, Stephanie. It was nearly 30 days to the day Chris McDonough had his interview, walk around the Wells house when he was on the property. A month in. And hi, Stephanie Sorisi. Thank you for coming in, guys. I'll have to get off here shortly and do some of my homework I've got to do. 4 weeks, that's enough for a plant to die and for that little weed to grow. They're not little weeds though, Stephanie. They're quite tall. But maybe you're right. But they were supposed to be succulents as well, like little cacti type plants. They weren't flowers as in a petunia or a daisy or something like that. They were supposedly little cacti or succulents. And they're pretty tough, aren't they? I don't know. Yeah. And like, you know how Summer apparently put the little Paw Patrols and stuff in the pots? I have no doubt she done that. But when she done it, could be another story. No, apparently Grandis likes collecting rocks and gems and all that sort of stuff. They don't come across as flower planting people. They are not the house proud type. I saw the pots with little toys being the only colour in them. Yeah, exactly, Myri and Max. I would half believe it if there were lots of potted flowers and succulents and stuff all around Grandma's thing, but there's not. There's an old barbecue sitting beside the caravan with a few cuttings in dirt and that sort of thing. It's not like it's been a full-on hobby of hers. Really, Stephanie? A week can grow like that in a few days. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they're, well, they look pretty full. Whether they were full with soil or not, I'm not sure. That property. I wonder when they go to court again for, because last week they said there was an emergency court hearing for Don on the gag order about the boys. There hasn't been any information on whether that happened or not yet. I don't think those bum butts know the difference between a weed, a plant, and a flower. Heck, even a tree. It all grows is all they know. Yeah. Definitely not the astute gardeners, that's for sure. They need to just tear the house down. I know. And like, I still don't understand that. Being in the construction trade, you would think he would at least have the walls plastered and painted, and I don't know. But they do say, like, mechanics usually don't have the maintenance up to date on their own vehicles and things like that. So I don't know. But it just goes to show that the way Candice has been brought up by Grandis, that is both of their normals, isn't it? With a sore knee, though, it really is weird she would suddenly need to plant those pots. Exactly, Stephanie. Yeah, I don't know. If you're a drywaller, and so him and Candice and the kids build on that little extension where them bricks are that you walk up into the actual house, right? Then you go down. So Donald built that bit on where you walk up them thingies, and then you walk into the kitchen area, okay? So them 2 rooms look like they've been attempted to be drywalled. But why wouldn't he have drywalled down below in the sleeping areas? Is it just laziness, or, and the windows boiled over? I don't know. It's just the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, you wouldn't let your dogs live down there. I don't think she's ever cooked, Stephanie, going by different things that have been said about their, you know, what they eat. And yeah, it's not good, is it? A liquid diet by the sound of it. Yeah, the knee is bullshit too, K-Zona. How could you walk down that lake bank if you had a bunged up knee? Or did they just go to the hospital to get the prescriptions? Anyone at a room under a house? Yeah, it's weird. And like I was saying weeks and weeks ago, I don't understand if he is in that industry and he's working with all these tradies, why he hasn't tried to barter with other tradies, like, I'll do some drywalling for you if you do some electrical for me, and at least, the very least, get them electrical wires sorted out that are hanging from one wall to another with light bulbs hanging off them. And yeah, I'm surprised they haven't all been electrocuted and the house was burnt down. And that's just the safety side of it without the cosmetic side of it. Oh, really? In a tent? Like, we have people that live in sheds. Like, they'll construct a big shed, like your American barns, and they'll live in that while the house is being built and that sort of thing. It's so creepy, emerald flower. It just makes my skin crawl. And filthy. That's what I mean about being a drywaller. Like, he could have lined them walls and painted it and made it look half decent, you know. Put some floor coverings down. And it doesn't cost you a fortune to get cheap floor coverings. You can get cheap things nowadays. I don't know what sort of shops you call them in America, but over here there's discount stores where you can go and get cheap carpet and cheap linoleum. And, you know, I do have problems with rabbits in Australia. Yes, we do have lots of bunny rabbits in Australia, the great wild type ones. We have 3 white fluffy ones in our backyard though. White and ginger they are, little darlings. We live about an hour from the shed cabin. It's okay, we're put in a bathroom. It's like a studio. That's what I need in my studio right here, Cabin Life at Eden Springs. And there's nothing wrong with living in a cabin. My God. There's a show on the Lifestyle Channel I watch all the time about cabin life, and it looks amazing. They're not just, and the views, like, my God. You love rabbits. There's 3 here you can have. And we thought they were all girls when the girl's dad gives them to us. But no, turns out they're 3 boys, which is better than being girls and boys. But because they're all male, they don't all get along together in the one enclosure, do they? Like 2 of them nearly killed one of them, so then we had to get a separate enclosure for it. And he's all better now though, but they're so cruel to each other, the boy rabbits. Yeah, you can get heaps of cheap household things these days. Not like back in the day, everything was so expensive. But you don't have to have the top of the line either. There's no excuse for the state of that house. There's not one thing. If you can afford alcohol and cigarettes and vapes and all the rest of it, you can afford a tin of paint and floor coverings and beds, or go to the thrift stores even. And there's no reason why they can't or couldn't, because hopefully they won't have the boys back to have to worry about it. I am sad that the eldest boy is not with his brothers, though. That still makes me really sad, because that little guy lost his sister and his parents and his two brothers. Like, that's got to just tear him up inside. At least the other two boys have each other, you know. The eldest one is, yeah, that just makes me feel so sad. Doesn't have to cost you anything. Most of the world makes their homes out of the earth it sits on. Yep. Oh my God, YouTube. You can learn so much on here, guys. About 10 years ago, we had a PS2 and it wouldn't work properly. So I decided that I would find out why it wasn't working properly on YouTube. And YouTube told me why it wasn't working properly. So then I decided I would watch some more tutorials and fix it, because the tutorials just made it look so easy. The kids was horrified that I even thought about it, and the PlayStation never ever worked again. So it's not always as easy as you think. But yeah, you can, if you want to learn something, you can learn it. Just not PS2s. It's not a fun time. Yeah, I hope so, Captain's life. And hopefully they get to see each other at school and, you know. Anyway, people, I'm getting a bit hungry. They also didn't have clean water. Well, I know True told Penny from True Crime Commentary that they showered in sewage water. Would that be like, no, surely not. How could you shower in sewage water? I don't, surely they got water tanks or something. Like, I understand there's no town water, but aren't there wells everywhere and all that sort of thing? I couldn't think of any. No, not sewage water. You couldn't. No, I don't believe that either. Thank you guys for it. Yeah. But when you look at Candace at the prayer vigils, and she never looked dirty, did she? Like, not filthy dirty. She didn't look like that. Yeah, they'd have to have water tanks or something. That Hunter Nation people are as bad as shit. Oh my God. Between Hunter Nation, Mandy C, and the Shurs, I'm so confused. I don't know who. I just don't understand. I don't know if Mandy C was really having a relationship with Hunter Nation. I just don't know. And I don't really care, guys. But yes, they are all as bad as one another. But yeah, the water thing is... And the toilet was inside, so they would have to have water inside the house to flush the toilet, although Donald didn't flush when he was on his little live. Not that I heard anyway. Very much a hot mess. And I was only saying the other week how, like, where's the bathroom? Remember that? We soon found out where the bathroom was. Not if it's a composting toilet. So do you mean by that, Cabin Life, that it's like a hole in the ground type toilet? A drop? Yeah, but wouldn't it be outside? I wonder what Grandis did in the middle of the night when she needed to go to the toilet. Because her van doesn't look big enough to have a toilet in it. Maybe it does. I don't know. The stupid things I think about. No, so it's not a drop. Yeah, some campers have bathrooms. Hers must have, because I vaguely remember somebody saying when they were physically searching for summer, like the search people, that, remember Candace said something about they even wanted to check her mum's toilet thing where the waste goes into. So it must have a toilet in there. Yes, Debbie, I love them. I've fixed printers. I've fixed so many things, just not PS2s. And I did try to fix a Samsung 8 screen with a YouTube tutorial, and that didn't work well for me either. But if it's just, you know, everyday things, you can learn so much. Really? You prefer a composting toilet over a water flush? Well, there you go. I'm going to have to look into these composting toilets now because I've never heard of them before. You guys are teaching me all about the world, and I thank you so much. YouTube University, I call it. My husband calls it, you're being a dumbass. That's crazy to me. Anyway, people, thank you so much for sticking around, you guys. I really do appreciate it. And if you're new in here and haven't come into the chat, thank you also. And I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully earlier though. And hopefully by the time I wake up, they would have found Brian. And there's some updates with Summer's case, because it's just getting way too quiet on Summer's case for my liking. You have a lovely afternoon too, Myri and Max. Miss Justice, thank you all so much. Yeah, and if you could subscribe if you're new, that would be awesome. Help us grow a little bit more. And I'll try not to spam you all with community posts. My phone is going crazy over here. How dare people in real life try to speak to me? They should know I'm busy. Enjoy your day. I'm going to sleep. Try anyway. Yes. Well, I hope you do have a good sleep. And I'll schedule for tomorrow. So hope you can join me again then. And I will have some stuff organised for tomorrow. You love community posts? Oh, that's good. I think because you can make them a little bit more personal too, you know, just with anything other, whether it's about the case or your world or whatever. I might put some photos on there of the earthquake in Melbourne. Okay, guys, I better go. I'm getting a numb bottom. I need to walk around a bit. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Lovely to see all the new people too. Thanks heaps. Okay, good night and goodbye.